I'm starting to fall in love with this keyboard. Hello, Chris at ePianos here again in the shed with the Yamaha DGX670. I wanted to show you a couple of features on here that try to get the keyboard, the backing tracks on the keyboard, to react a little bit more like a real life band full of real human beings would. Previous editions of this keyboard, you could have a backing band play and it would follow the chords and the music that you're playing, but it would have a slightly robotic quality to it. Two new features on DGX670 called Adaptive and Unison try to bridge that gap somewhat, and I've been really impressed by them, particularly Unison, which allows you to insert accents to your playing, as you'll see in the video, play a little harder, and the drummer will just join in with a couple of cymbal hits. If you've ever played in a real band that's well rehearsed and very tight, all you need to do is look over to the drummer sometimes and give him a nod, and he'll play an extra cymbal or an extra bit of percussion during a particular part of a song. Or you look at the bassist and the bassist will bring down the level of the song and you'll work as one together. You didn't used to get that in older models, but with these two new features, I really like the way that you can do that, and it feels like a more live, more organic experience when you're playing with the backing tracks. I'll get on with the playing and you'll see what I mean. The first one is a Coldplay song, so have a listen to this. This is one of the unison backing, so listen out for how the drummer, the cymbals will interact with me playing a little bit harder on the keys. So as you can see, it's a great way of injecting some energy into the performance, and you didn't used to get that with old models of this keyboard. And I think it's a really clever bit of technology there called Unison, where if you're really getting into the playing, as I was, you can really give it some welly, and the keyboard and the band react to it and give something back to you, which is really terrific. There's another little way you can tweak the backings on here as well, and this is using the simple button in the style control section. And this is where, instead of having the entire backing of the band play, you can take out most of the elements of it and just have, for the most part, the drums and the bass. And this works really well because many of the styles built into this keyboard are made for particular songs. Some of them are very generic, but some of them are made for particular songs. But if you could just take away those parts and be left with the root structure of the accompaniment, then it opens up all sorts of other possibilities, as you'll see with this one, which is one of my favourite Billy Joel pieces. And I almost forgot to say, listen out again, because this is one of the Unison styles. So I can put a bit more accent and a bit more feel into the playing. I can hit the keys a bit harder when I want the drummer to give it a bit more welly and hit one of the cymbals and put a bit more energy into it. So listen out for that. It works really well, and as I say, you really get into it. You can give it a whack and the drummer just responds to it and puts in a bit of percussion, and it really makes the whole performance just way more dynamic, which is what I've been having loads of fun with on this particular keyboard here in the shed. Here's an example of the adaptive style on here. So this is the one that will go through the four main variations, and for the uninitiated out there, on each of the backing accompaniments we have four variations, A, B, C, D. A being the most simple, good for the first verse of a song, and as you go through the song to the second verse you might use variation B because some extra instruments will come in, giving the backing a boost. C and D get more and more intense and more full of instruments, D being the strongest. With the adaptive backings, it responds to your playing, because previously you would have had to have pressed a button to change it, but this will actually respond to how hard you play and how many notes you play in succession. What's more is there's also more than four different types of variation. I think it's 16 in total, so on just A you'll have about 4 variations within A, so it really does adapt to your playing. So I'm going to play a ballad on here. Have a listen to the changes as I start to play a bit harder, starting off very, very gently. So some really good ways there that with the backings on this instrument, they've taken a real leap forward with DGX670 to make you feel like you're playing with a real live group. And I've been working my way through all of these styles on here. I have to say, not all of the styles have an adaptive or unison option on there. Some actually have both adaptive and unison, which is very handy, but mostly they're one or the other. They're either adaptive or they're unison, and you can change as well the sensitivity required to go up the variations during the adaptive ones. As you notice there, it didn't take much at all in my playing for the keyboard to react and go up and go back down the variations, but you can tweak that and you can actually have it require you to play harder or softer to do that. And I'm going to get into experimenting with that a little bit as we go on. Now, tell me, what do you want to see demonstrated on this keyboard? Because I'm just starting to fall in love with this keyboard. I'm thinking of buying one for myself to have here permanently in the shed. I've enjoyed it so much. But tell me, what do you want to hear about? Do you want to see a particular style demonstrated? Do you want to see a particular feature or a function or a voice demonstrated? Just let me know. Leave a comment in the section, leave a comment down below and let me know, and I'll do my best to make a video for you. I know there's a few of you who've already asked questions. Those videos are coming up, by the way. You can always get hold of us at ePianos by emailing us or using the live chat. Give us a ring, whatever you like. Make sure you check out our website. Loads and loads of digital pianos, keyboards and pre-owned stuff as well. But that's all for this time. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.